217 Recovery Podcast. 30th. Last day of November. A year ago today. My ass was in jail. My name is Corey Winfield.
I'm Ryan Beckman.
Hey, Ryan.
I was in the hospital. I wasn't in jail.
A year ago today, things were different in a world far away. Oh, yeah, it's much better being in the room with you than being in a jail cell. And it looks like Chris will be joining us for this podcast. So welcome to Chris, too. Give him a big welcome. He finally does get in here. He realizes, oh, crap, those guys don't wait.
No,
they don't.
You don't have to wait.
All right.
You're only late to your first meeting.
You are late, just to your
seventh podcast.
Yeah, seventh podcast, first meeting, kind of.
Is my volume good now?
Yeah, your volume's just fine.
It's been checked.
Yeah, sure. Yep, yeah, we checked.
Hey
it.
now, sorry. I was
Whoa,
late.
that's really hot.
I just.
It's a little loud.
Sorry, it's so loud.
You're good.
I'm
So it's the 30th of November.
Yes, it is.
I was in jail.
Oh,
That's when I got the whole
situation.
yeah, and from what I remember, I'll tell this story if you guys
All right.
don't mind.
Love to hear it.
Okay, so it was a wintry night,
Just like tonight.
just like tonight.
Tell him Large Marge sent you.
I'm Large Marge sent ya.
I love that.
It was great.
Love that movie.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. But no, so I don't remember much of kind of the weekend or what happened. I remember this was the first time I ever hallucinated or was hallucinating. And because every time you go to the hospital, they're like, hey, are you hallucinating? I'm like, how would I know? How would I know if I'm hallucinating? Wouldn't that look real to me?
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, that's a good point. And I'm like, I don't know. Well, I remember when I had started, I think it was on like a Friday. So it would have been Good Fridays when I started drinking. And I remember the Brady Bunch was in my living room in my apartment. And I remember thinking, what? That's pretty cool. I mean, I knew it wasn't real, though. But I just thought, what in the hell is going on? And I don't remember much after that, except I remember like driving my car. I remember like it felt like I hit something, or I don't remember. And next thing I know, I'm getting out of my car, and some dude walks up to me like, as I'm in my apartment complex, and some dude comes walking up. It's like, hey man, you almost killed somebody. And I was like, what?
What?
What are you talking about? He's like, hey, you almost killed somebody, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, you were driving. He's like, you're freaking drunk. And I was like, no, I wasn't driving. But yeah, I'm drunk, but I wasn't driving. He's like, hey, you were? I just saw you get out of your car. I was like, no, you didn't. That girl was driving. I don't remember. Like I said, some girl was there with me, and I thought maybe there was, but who knows? There could have been, man. And then he says he's going to call the cops. So I was like,
Wow.
all right, call the cops. You didn't see me driving. Cops didn't see me driving. Call them. So I waited outside for the cops.
Good idea.
I'm Corey Winfield, and they don't take me to jail.
Take me to jail.
So cop gets there, and I remember he kept asking me a bunch of questions. I was like, yeah, I was drunk, but I wasn't driving. And he kept saying, well, he guy says you were. And I'm like, well, I wasn't. The girl was. She's over there somewhere. I remember saying something like that. And then I remember he had this look on his face where he was kind of puzzled. Because he didn't see me driving. It's this guy's word against my word.
Speculation.
He didn't see, like, my car. Like he's like, okay, well.
They have no evidence.
Yeah, no evidence whatsoever. Except for this guy's word. And I was like, I don't know if the guy has road rage or what, but. And I was in my pajama pants.
Of course.
A t-shirt. And.
The normal Corey Winfield uniform.
Yeah. Sleep attire. And. I just looked at him and said, well, I'm going to go inside because you can't take me to jail. And then cuffed up.
Sound.
And see, the cops in Buchanan had been to my apartment so many times for wellness checks because my mom would be freaking out, so she'd call them and they'd come over. Sometimes I'd be drunk, so, and so they were just like, all right, Winfield, really? Like, okay, yeah. Can't take you to jail. Let's see about that. and my blood alcohol level is so high, he didn't even give me a breathalyzer, and which is kind of messed up. I get to the jail, they don't give me a breathalyzer there either, and they just throw me in the drunk tank. But if they would have given me one, it would have probably been like a 0.5 something. I mean, I was drunk in there for quite a while.
They're supposed to ask you breath, blood, or urine. I always said, no thanks, I'm full.
Yeah, because they knew I would have blown over the limit for them taking me to jail, and they would have had to take me to the hospital. And you're not even supposed to be in the actual drunk tank in Berrien County. There's like a separate one for like people who
Super
are
drunk?
detox. Yeah, and it's definitely not a detox, but they watch you closer, which means nothing. But I don't know. It was definitely a eye-opening experience. So much so that I got out of jail like 5-6 days later and drank again, and then had to go back for another week. I don't know. But if I didn't go through all that, and when I went to court, the cops' body cam just mysteriously wasn't working. The evidence they had against me was this guy and another guy who were going 2 different directions saw me driving up the same street
They found
that
him?
doesn't even connect. Well, I think the cop just wrote the reports himself. But the road doesn't even connect to the other road that he said that I turned down and stopped in the middle of and brushed my car off. So I'm like, none of this even makes any sense. I told the lawyer, I was like, bro, this road doesn't connect. How are those 2 cars going different directions going to follow me up that road and watch me stop in the middle of traffic and brush my car off? If I'm in my car driving already, wouldn't I have brushed it? I mean, none of it made any sense, man. But the lawyer looked at me and said, well, when's the longest you've been sober? I was like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months, almost 6 one time. And he's like, okay, well, now you're going to have to stay sober a year, so this might have saved your life. You're lucky that you didn't kill anybody. And I am lucky, and some people aren't so lucky. So, and what's weird is I had a half gallon at the house, not even open. I didn't smoke, or I don't smoke, but I didn't need vape juice. I didn't need anything from the store. I had food. There was no reason for me to drive. I left without my wallet. I left without my phone. I don't know what the hell was going on, man. It's kind of scary when you think about it. 'Cause
yeah.
I don't remember any of it. I don't know what I was doing. That's scary when you
Sit back and think about it.
Yeah, and the fact that I could get in a car with who knows what reasoning or logic and not, I don't know, man.
I used to just get behind the wheel just to drive because I thought it was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty scary.
It is pretty scary. Like you said, when you sit back and you think about it, you just got all this time to think. Jesus, I could have. And, the stories of the people that have hit somebody,
Yeah.
got in car accidents, that have changed their life detrimentally. Lucky, brother.
Where was Chris Goss a year ago?
Well, it was my parents' basement on Thanksgiving, and then more than likely, the next night it was my parents' basement, doing what I did, getting my ducks in a row. I want to say it was early December when I went to the first treatment facility, Blank Heart, my 3rd trip there.
Hey, they're hiring.
Yeah, I'm not getting there. But, I know exactly where I was. I was in my parents' basement looking at a cigar box full of paraphernalia. I can guarantee one of those nights my kids stayed the night, and, we were playing video games, or they were. The way my parents' basement went, there was a little spot where I stayed, and then a laundry room, and basically a wall that separated it with a door. I kept the door open, but clothes hanging. And my youngest son walked in quite a few times while I was doing what I did. My sons have seen me do that. Not that I did it deliberately in front of them, but, and then to still think that I still entertain that, man, it would be cool. Man, it would be cool. I don't know if it's pride or if it's just my brain still thinking it's screwed up. But like I said the other night, There's a guy who 31 years and he thought about taking a drink because this whole higher power thing. I've said, you say the prayer, the toilet bowl prayer, foxhole prayer, or whatever. Just take this from me. And I look at my new watch, and it hasn't happened in 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and grab the wheel again. But to actually think that I'd made 5 treatment centers this year, and now I'm sitting in a sober house in a one-horse town, trying something different, and it's far better off than I ever was. As much as I had to go to work at 10 o'clock this morning, and I had to wash dishes, but I can guarantee I might have still been working at Clemens, but making that good money, that Clemens money that my old guy used to tell me, oh, he got that Clemens money, I'll front you. So yeah, man, I can tell you where I was. It was not a good place. It was not a happy place. Certainly not like Dumb and Dumber, but it wasn't a good place.
So somebody who's looking into maybe getting help, or maybe somebody who has a family member, you would say to them, or they might look at it or listen and hear, oh, sober living, oh, that must be disgusting, that must be gross, that must be inconvenient. Some of it is a little, it's not gross.
There's ups and downs.
You'd say you definitely are in a better place.
Oh, hell yeah.
So like
this, I'm going to say hell yeah.
That was some good decision makings that led you here, even though sometimes you thought they were bad ones.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody thought they were bad ones. And technically, man, they could have probably
been very bad. Certainly very bad.
But the fact that they happened the way they did, and now you're here in a good spot, today, right now, as of 30 seconds ago, you're still doing good.
Yeah,
So that's all you can really ask for.
And if this snow falls like it's supposed to, I have the opportunity to get up and shovel.
Yes.
And, make a little bit of money to hold me over through the week. Because I'll get paid on whatever day. Start the new job on the 13th. I still have yet to tell my old job about the new job. But they're gonna work on my demands. I'll just do this position a few days a week. If you don't want me, I'm out of here.
I'll call them and let them know.
But I was talking to a friend earlier. I just mentioned last night I didn't drink 1 ounce of tea or soda yesterday. Came back with a dry mouth. And today I was talking to a friend. I was like, man, there's a football game on. I stood behind the bar for a little bit, and I just looked at all the taps. I looked at the bottles, and I was like, man, am I thirsty. My friend was like, well, quench your thirst with a Coke. Andrea, how you doing? Quench your thirst with a Coke. And I already sent her the picture of you call it a graph? Is it half graph? A graph full of ice and soda. But, and then I went to the tea. But, sober house, it's better than I was at, You got a guy that sleeps with that grinds his teeth next to the next bed.
Nice.
He grinds his teeth. His alarm clock goes off in the morning. He doesn't turn it off. But, that is what it is. And what it is today is a lot better than what it was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Did you already say where you were a year ago, Ryan?
Well, I have not really elaborated on it.
Do tell.
Hospital.
Well, about 10 o'clock the night before, police were called. Well, my friend called them when I fell on the floor, hit my head. I got up. She called for, ambulance. But since I was getting up, like 10 seconds later, she just hung up on him. Cops come knocking on my door.
Of course they do.
Yeah. Unannounced to me. She never filled me in on this part of it. She just dumped a bunch of water in my head, so I'm walking back to my bathroom, dry off.
Oh, is this the story I heard?
Yeah, you might have heard it.
I think you told me. I'll listen again, though.
Cop was like, what's going on? Why are you all wet? I'm like, just doing some dishes.
Cop doesn't come on till 4.
What happened to your head? Nothing. Big old goose egg. It's like, well, we got to do a check-in here. We got a call from this area. Blah. Comes in. Finds some paraphernalia. Um,